In today's episode, we'll be sitting down with my dear friend Lesli Warwick, who I met through my milk selling business. And today's episode isn't really a interview; it's more just a coffee chat between two friends as we talk about our lives and some of the struggles that we've had, some of the wins that we've had doing things with our babies close to our knees. We both only have one child, but I hope that those of you who have multiple can be blessed by this and know that you're not alone. So today's episode, we'll be discussing how to do things with children at your knees. Welcome to Simply Living Homestead, where we empower homesteaders and preserve traditions. I'm your host, Amanda Carlin, and I help homesteading families bring peace and order to their lives. My friend, are you overwhelmed with all the tasks on your homestead? Do you wish for a mentor to guide you through the tough moments each day? Then you've come to the right place. Together, we will learn to organize our homestead, love our families well, and walk in the peace of God. If you're ready to get unstuck from the constant feeling of overwhelm, then join us each week as we explore practical advice, inspiring stories, and heartfelt encouragement to help you thrive. Let's grow a sustainable, meaningful life together, both in the home and on the homestead. Welcome back to the Homestead. I am Amanda, and I have a really good friend, Lesli, with us today. I met her through selling raw milk, and she asked a lot of questions, and it just kind of developed into this friendship that we have made. Thank you for being here, Lesli.
Well, thank you for having me.
I'm so excited that we're going to finally do this. We've been talking about it for a good number of months. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about doing things when there are children at your feet. And my thought behind this episode, when we were like kind of coming up with ideas and stuff, was to really to think about, like, we like to do things. Both of us are pretty intense go-getters when we decide to be. And I have one. Emerson is 4, and you have one as well. Yep. So you have, I think she's 6.
Yeah, she just turned 6 in December.
Sweet. So we're not coming to this discussion with lots of children, but if you only have one child, you'll know that they're ridiculously needy.
Yes.
My mother has told me, she's like, Amanda, if you just had another kid, like, they'd keep each other occupied. So we do get our fair share of, they're always with us. They always want to be doing stuff with us. Sometimes they're a little bit too grown up for their for their own britches.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we thought that we would have this discussion to encourage homesteading or work from home moms, that it's okay to not have it all together. When children are tugging at your skirts or scattering buckets of feed, real life and real growth is still happening. In this episode, we hope to offer honest reflections and practical tips, and a reminder that faith will meet us right where we're at. So, Lesli, is there anything that you would like us to know about you as we get started in this discussion?
Well, like you said, I have one little one, and she just turned 6.
Mm-hmm.
And she's such a great helper in the kitchen and just around the house and everything. And that's pretty much, I mean, there's not much to it. We met each other through the raw milk, like you mentioned, and our friendship just kind of blossomed from that, and which I'm very, very thankful for. So,
yes. And Lesli, do you consider yourself a homesteader?
I do, like maybe a micro homesteader. Sometimes it can be very challenging to consider myself a homesteader, but I feel like the only thing I'm missing maybe is just the land and the house here, and
the actual homestead.
Yeah, but I feel like we make do with what we've got here in our apartment, and between canning and trying to get little garden pots set up to grow some food and all of that, and the sourdough, making cheese and all of that. So
mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't think that homesteading is just about being on the land. It's really is a mindset.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's awesome that you're trying. I'm very glad to be out in the country. We had a little house in town when we were first married, and honestly, I could have done so much more there. And it's just when you're in the mindset that homesteading takes place out on the land, that to be able to shift that and go, oh, it's doing what I can to provide for my family with what I have on hand.
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of my episodes, especially recently, I have recorded them with you in mind. just some of the things it was like, oh yeah, like I bet Leslie would like this one.
Oh yeah. All the tips and tricks. As you know, we came from a house there close to where you're at, and um, it was quite a transition. We had chickens and a garden and everything. So here you are doing podcasts on small spaces, and I'm soaking it in because I feel like part of me was restarting a little bit in the homesteading knowledge that I had developed
Mm-hmm.
before we moved.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
it's been so helpful.
it's such a total like different way of looking at it. Like when
Yeah.
you got so much land, you just kind of do. And when
Hmm.
you're like forced to think inside a actual contained space, it totally changes things.
Yeah.
So how do you view what are some things that you've like learned or um kind of like done? I'm not exactly even sure how to ask this. What are some things that you've like encountered having your little girl there in the house with you, especially there in the apartment, and trying to then relearn and reapply skills that you've had while she's like right there? Have you like felt any like conflicts there or things that you've done that's worked really well?
Definitely all of the above. So and I've told you this before, I'm more of like I like to do things just by myself because I feel like I get them done faster,
Mm-hmm.
have a whole routine set. And we've touched on that before in previous conversations, but and as children grow, they go through different stages of not being interested or being super, like you had mentioned, clingy.
Mm-hmm.
And so just trying to navigate that. So now we're in a whole new season. We're in a new season of trying to figure out a routine after we moved. And then, now she's older. So
Mm-hmm.
she's a little bit stronger. Now she can help me knead the dough and she could be more hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, the biggest thing that I have learned is to let go of the reins a little bit. I have such a hard time with that. I struggle with that, but
Mm-hmm.
letting go a little bit to let her dive in and explore in the kitchen
Mm-hmm.
and kind of just learn. So I think that's my biggest takeaway was we kind of in a way we're just doing it together and trying to set up a new routine for us as she's gotten older and a new
Mm-hmm.
place and working with what we've got here. And so that's been a lot of fun for her. I can tell it's brought me joy to teach her things and a little bit of stress, which
Yeah.
I don't think people are talk about enough or are open enough about, but it's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge to let little ones, come
Yeah.
into your space, the space that inside and out, and
Yes.
and
Let them
just
touch all the things.
like to try and control here, maybe you can help me measure this, or trying
Yes. And
to,
then it goes
yeah,
everywhere, and you're like, another
trying to
step.
not, yes, trying not to feel like, okay, well maybe do it a little bit better next time.
Yes.
So just,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it's a
Emerson is
struggle.
such a control freak too. And like the older
Hmm.
he gets, the more like, and I mean, I know it's like totally just like a thing that little kids will go through. Like, I want to do it myself and I can do it
Yeah.
myself. But he's really starting to have this whole thing where like if he doesn't also like get to call the shots, like if mommy does it mommy's way, it's not done right. Like
Hmm.
like mommy has to do it Emerson's way. And yeah, that's been an interesting challenge in of itself.
Hmm.
Because he wants to be up there and he wants to do all the things and he wants to be part of it all. Mommy, can I help you make supper? Mommy, can I help you fry the mushrooms? I
Yeah.
want them cut in rounds, not in long flat rectangles.
Right.
We just went and
Yes.
found a whole bunch of morel mushrooms and yeah, he was dictating every single cut that I made and digging his little like knives. We have some like they cut pretty good, but they're like plastic knives
Yeah, Lily
for
has a
him
set it up.
and they
Mhm.
cut really well. I mean, all things considered, but yeah, he's like digging those out of the cupboards. Like, I gotta cut them. I gotta cut it up, mommy. And then he was like very distressed that I had cut them like long ways instead of
Oh,
into like rounds.
yes, yes.
I love you, child. I do. I love you so much. But I need to make supper.
Hmm.
But yeah, just like letting go of that. So have you felt like guilt or shame about like not doing enough or not including them enough or just like go play when you're having an exhausting
Oh,
day? Have you
yes,
dealt with that?
yes, yes. I think there's lots of different ways that we as mothers feel that um, that mom guilt whether it be taking time out for ourselves or just, I don't know, just trying to just do daily tasks. But I think that's a huge one, is that mom guilt of, did I include her enough on my daily tasks or in my daily tasks? Was she, did she walk away feeling like satisfied that mom helped her, mom taught her, she got enough time? Like, did she feel rushed? Because that's another, trying not to, man, when you just got to let go of any kind of time management or expectations of just time expectations. I've learned to let those go, and those are out the window. And that's just something I remind myself, this is a season. This will not be around forever.
Yeah, it really won't.
It's gonna, I mean, in a blink of an eye. I can't believe she's already 6 now, but just realizing, just slow down now, because once she's old enough, it's all going, I mean, I'll have the rest of my life, that later half of my life, to do things that I was wanting to do, to clean all the things by myself, or to cook by myself. But I do feel sometimes the guilt of it, or being impatient with her. Like,
that's my big one. It's like, oh, I gotta do it faster. Like you need to do it faster. Like, this took way too long. And did it really? Not for them. Like, no. And it was just my yes. Yes, every single bit of it. And I know you've expressed to me like that there's been some days, especially surrounding the move and like waiting and, just trying to get everything like accomplished or whatever, that has just been ridiculously overwhelming. What would you say is your most go-to like tip or thing that you do to like calm down when everything feels like chaos?
Oh, goodness. Sometimes I find a lot of the time for me, just taking a minute away and relaxing for just a few minutes. I find a lot of relaxation in cleaning or doing
something. Clean my house.
Listen, I've thought about this as a profession. I do. I find it to be very relaxing. So
I'm so jealous.
Mom needs to just clean this part real quick. Like, let mom just organize this cabinet or clean out the fridge real quick, do a load of laundry. And let me, and then it gives me a moment to reset, come back to it. And I don't feel as overwhelmed. I go in and I'm like, okay, deep breath. Lord, help me through this moment. I feel really overwhelmed. Just quiet my mind right now while I just do this task I don't have to think about. I think that's why it brings me so much peace to do little tasks, cleaning tasks, because you don't have to think about it. You know what to do, and it gives my mind just a reset. So Lily will go off and play, or and then we'll come back together. I'm like, okay, are you ready to start this task? Or she'll help me make out a list of things that we need to do, so it doesn't feel so overwhelming. And then she'll help me check them off. As I let her help me do them and to accomplish those. And that also sets her up with, I think, feeling accomplished. Like, oh yeah, I was involved and I got to finish that.
Oh, that's a great idea to let them be involved with the checklist.
Definitely.
Yes. Definitely. I don't know. That's quite 4-year-old material, but it'll come all too quickly for me.
Oh, it definitely will. It definitely will. And it's hard. Do you ever feel like you look at Emerson, you're like, I see a lot of myself.
Oh yeah.
In your mannerisms, like
every single day. I'm like,
do you ever feel like that?
He is his mother's child in every sense of the word. And it very quickly makes you realize all of your bad habits, all of the bad things that you say, everything that's just like, you don't just think about it because it's just yourself, right? And then all of a sudden your child is saying it or doing it. And you're like,
and you're like, where did you get that from?
Oh wait, yeah.
I know
exactly where you got that from.
And then having the conversation of, okay, so this is how mommy should have handled this situation.
Yes. That actually happened to us this morning. He was having a meltdown because we said we weren't going to go do something. And he like raised his voice and we were like, Emerson, like you've got to speak kindly, right? Like like no yelling. And he goes, but mommy raises her voice. And I went, oh, Yeah, just because I do doesn't mean that I should. We're gonna both practice this, okay?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he like kind of like sometimes.
Right.
And I'm
Hmm.
and I'm just like, yeah, I do. And it's not like we're punishing you for this. Like we're asking you to be aware of your surroundings. We're asking you to be, aware, and we're gonna work on not doing it.
Right.
It's not like you're
Yeah.
being punished for yelling. It's that we're asking you to, we're gonna work on it, and we're gonna both work on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Taking, I mean, and I'm sure you can definitely, feel this. I mean, in your core, it's just
Mm-hmm.
any mother I think can, but, realizing that I mean, you have to take a lot of accountability for different things,
Mm-hmm.
and owning up to when you've done something wrong.
Yeah.
And it's just that I've learned that a lot with Lily. Like you were saying with Emerson having a meltdown, and Lily when she has one, and well, like you raise your voice, or like if I get frustrated, I don't even know, I like roll my eyes.
Okay. Yep.
Like I can't open something, or like for whatever reason, like I was trying to get the dog's food open, and like I was like, oh, this won't open. And I'll hear her do that sometimes. And I'm like, whoa, child, what are you doing? Like, let
Yes.
mom help you. Take a deep breath while you get frustrated. And then my husband will come to me and be like, you do that same thing. I'm like, wait, that's like, I don't think that's true.
It's
But
like,
then you're
hold
like,
on.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then being, okay, I need to own up to this. And so I will come back to her um and be like, mom does do that sometimes, and or maybe more than I realize, and that's definitely not what I should be doing. And instead I should, do this or that. And just remembering that I have to own up to it just as much as anybody else. Like if she got in trouble, you would want them to, be like, yes, you did do this, but are we doing that with ourselves?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
And I think we look past that, but
yeah.
from a child's perspective, and having
Yeah.
that's been a
Oh,
huge
yeah.
struggle.
Well, and I mean, it teaches them to then own up to theirs if we can own up to
Mhm.
ours. And especially if that wasn't modeled to us,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Like growing up, I could see my parents' flaws, but I don't really remember them admitting to them
Yes.
or
Yeah.
like taking ownership of those. But then we were
Mhm.
expected to, take ownership over like hurting our siblings, or doing something naughty, or taking something without it, being, that we weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to own up to that. But um it it does make me happy, even though like it really doesn't in the moment. Right? To
Hmm.
go, yeah, mommy messed up, mommy shouldn't have
Yep.
done that, mommy is going to work on doing better, and I'm sorry that I hurt you.
Yeah.
And it is annoying right now. He's like 4, and so he's like trying to figure out relationships in the world, right? And
Yeah.
so something will happen and he'll go, mommy, are you sorry?
Oh.
Yes, buddy, I'm sorry. But then he's like trying to then any perceived slight against him, are you sorry? And sometimes I'm like, no, I did that intentionally, and no, I'm not sorry for that. um and it's especially when he's being disciplined. That's one I don't even remember using the word disciplined. Like I just used it, but like to him I don't remember using it. I obviously did. um A couple nights ago I was like, Emerson, like we're not going to yell at each other, okay? And he goes, I'm not yelling, I'm disciplining you.
Oh my.
Oh
Yeah.
boy,
Yeah.
all right, so this is one we get to work on now.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, just having him around though is a joy most of the time. and
Hmm.
and it's okay that it's not a joy all the
Oh
time.
yeah. Yeah.
It's okay. That doesn't mean you hate your child.
Oh no. And I think that should be, and I think we've talked about this before too, is um, just, I mean, we could do a whole like conversation about like motherhood and the
Mm-hmm.
feelings that come with it, and the struggles, the rawness, the reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it still, I think it just is not talked about enough. Is There's just so much. There's so much, especially if you have, like you had mentioned, generational things that carry
Mm-hmm.
over, as do I.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people I know do, and trying to break that is so difficult. It's,
Mm-hmm.
if you didn't hear sorry when you were growing up, trying to be sorry for something, a mistake, is almost, it feels so belittling. And I had to get past that feeling of when mom maybe said, you need to go sit down. super short, and and it hurt her feelings. And then coming back and be like, I'm really sorry. I did not mean to be so stern. Sometimes mom, has a bad day, just like you have bad days, and just trying to be own up to that, like we were saying.
Right. Yeah. And just like mom does have bad days, but
Yeah.
that doesn't give me the freedom to like be a snot.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about in the 6 years that Lily has been alive, what is some tools that you've utilized, like creative workarounds and little victories and like anything that you can think of here that, maybe did help you actually get something done.
Okay. Goodness. Sometimes I feel like after I had Lily, it's so hard to remember things. It really
They
is.
do
So now
that.
I'm
They
trying
steal a
to,
part of your brain. It's
they
like,
do
here.
daily. I feel like, what did I do this morning? I don't
Yes.
know.
What did I have for lunch? I'm not sure.
Right. Did I eat today? I don't know. So let's see some things that helped. Do you know, like a big thing for, let's just as an example, cleaning, vacuuming, mopping. We had gotten her this little toy, I think from the thrift store. It was like a vacuum and the mops and the brooms and stuff. It was like a Melissa and Doug toy, I think.
Yes.
So we used that. And so I would, okay, let's do our chore list, or let's go ahead and start cleaning before daddy gets home. And so we get her stuff out, and then I get my, the vacuum, because she wasn't big enough to hold the vacuum.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I'll do this side, you start at that side, and then we'll switch. So that was super helpful in that season. Now, like I had mentioned, now she's bigger, and so the just making or having her, we don't really do chores. I did that when I was younger, growing up, and I absolutely not enjoy doing that. So that's just, I look at that kind of like clean up your room. Yeah, a little bit different. We have her do that. That's kind of her thing. Like, okay, don't forget to pick up the stuff around, on the floor. But now it's like, now she can be included to do things a lot more, and you make it fun. You make it fun, and it's not so miserable for, for everybody. And like letting the reins go, like I said, oh, that's a challenge. And sometimes I'm like, is it really Lily that's the challenge, or is it me here?
Yes.
I'm
very good at making things hard on myself.
Yes. Because like all I would have to do is, she always asks me to do the dishes. And I'm like, oh, it would just be quicker if I did it myself. But I'm like, here lately I've been like, okay, yes, you can do the dishes, of course. How do you want to dry? Do you want to rinse or wash? Like, it's up to you. And really it's me sometimes, I think, where I'm like, oh, I just don't want to give up that control over the situation, because I want it done. I want it done right the first time. Because I don't want to have to go back over and do it again.
Yes.
But I think the biggest tool would be just letting go for me. And everyone's going to be different, but letting it go, just letting them do it. Just let them do it. Because one day, and I hear this, and I think this can be applied to everything, which for me, that's what I've been doing. But my husband often tells me, he's like, one of these days, you're going to pick her up for the last time. And when you put her down, that'll be it. She'll never ask to be picked up again. And I'm like, oh, I guess I never thought about that. I never thought of it that way. And so one of these times, she won't ask again to do the dishes. She won't ask to bake with me in the kitchen, or start her own sourdough starter, or, and so just getting over myself, basically. And I think that's a huge, and everyone's going to be different, but that's just, for me, that's what has been the biggest tool, I think, to help me accomplish things around the house is, just, and not being such a clean freak about everything. Like, oh man, that was such a struggle. Having children and a husband is so hard sometimes. Because I'm like, I'm not just picking up after me. It's them as well. And so, but just let it go, Leslie, is what I tell myself now. Just let it go.
I think that's very funny that you mentioned the vacuum. Because Emerson has like a little play one that's like truly a play one. It like goes pop, 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 pop. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, but he wanted the real vacuum so bad. We actually went to a new church, and they had a little vacuum, and I'm assuming it was a toy vacuum. I never went into the room. I think we only went once or twice. I never went into the room to see what kind of vacuum, but he would talk about it all week. Mommy, I want to go play with the vacuum. I actually went to Walmart And I bought one of those like tiny vacuums that like you can kind of hold in one hand, but it does have like a floor attachment. I think it cost me $20. So it like cost me the amount of a toy. It plugs into the wall. It sucks things up.
Yes.
My child loves this thing. We were cleaning the house up last night. I'm like, let's do a speed clean. Like, let's try and let this house is chaos. Let's see how much we can get done. And he's like, Mommy, I'm going to vacuum the floor. I'm like, great, you do that. I need to vacuum that floor again. Okay, let's just be completely honest. But he did get the big pieces. Like he went through and he sucked up all of the big pieces that were on the floor, like all the little shreds of paper that who knows how they got there. And I mean, is there probably dirt still down in that carpet? Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. But he swept the floor and I wasn't about to go over it again. Like he got most of it. He got his little broom out and was like, I'm making my pile. You can push your dirt into my pile, Mommy.
Oh, how sweet.
All right. Well, we just got a couple more minutes here until the thing we're recording on runs out of time. So let's quick talk about how have you maintained your faith during the chaos?
A lot of one-on-ones with God, talking, stopping, praying. Sometimes that was before my feet hit the floor in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, early motherhood was such a struggle for me. And, you know, sometimes just getting out of bed was like the anxiety of just conquering the day and not knowing what it would bring from someone who loves just habitual and loves schedules, sticking to schedules. I had a lot of anxiety over not knowing about the day. And so a lot of the time it was, and I still do this today. It's just, I've different season of my life where I'm not feeling so anxious anymore about like unknowns and, oh, well, I stick to this schedule today. But, you know, praying, speaking to God, just asking for patience, and a lot of grace.
Yes.
And to really help me with that.
Yes.
And I think that's been a major way that that I've kept faith with everything every day. And just, you know, and a lot of it is just, you know, you hand it over, say, well, you know, you know, Lord, just take it.
Yes.
Take it. So
yeah. My big thing, especially recently with some of the things we've been going through with Emerson, it's just like praying very specifically for the situation or for Emerson. Like, and I do my best praying by writing. For whatever reason, it's very difficult for me to pray by just talking. And that sounds so dumb when my main like media is like talking. But yeah, for me, writing just feels more intimate to God, like actually being able to formulate like, hey God, hi. But sitting down and like going, thank you for Emerson. Please be with Emerson today. Help me be the mother that Emerson needs. And you know, that sort of thing. Help me with this very specific situation that we've been dealing with. Has really helped. But yeah, it's like, it's small, especially, you know, when they're little, like those prayer times. You don't get to sit out on the porch for an hour and just stare at the sun and, you know, talk to God. Like that doesn't often come when they're little. It'll come someday again, if you want it to. But yeah, it's like, thank you for this dish. Thank you for this food that I am cutting up here. Thank you for my child who wants to cut things up. Yes. Wonderful. Well, I think we should be wrapping this up. If you and I could, we'd talk for another hour, but that's not super great on a podcast. So to you, our listeners, this week, pick one task, just one, and invite your children to do it with you, even if it slows you down. Notice the beauty in it. I'm so glad that you came along for our conversation today. Thank you, Lesli, for joining us. Please come again and, you know, talk to us again. It was so much fun chatting with you.
Thank you.
And we will see you all next week. Well, neighbor, before you head out, I just want to say how much I've loved spending this time with you. If you too enjoyed our time together, don't forget to give us a follow and leave a quick review on your favorite podcast player. It really helps more women like us find their way to a simpler, more joyful life. And hey, if you know someone who'd enjoy this episode, why not share it with them? Let's keep growing this circle of encouragement together. Oh, and don't forget to join my email list. I've got some free printables and weekly tips waiting for you to help you live a purposeful, balanced life, one rooted right in the heart and home. Thanks for being here, friend. You're doing a great job. I can't wait to chat again next week here at the Simply Living Homestead.